Hey, what's up, guys? Alan Bishop of the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, your source for all things distillation knowledge, whether it be home distilling or legal professional distilling. I'm glad to help share my knowledge wherever I can with the things that I do know, and admit when I don't know something, and hopefully learn something. And I have learned a lot from you guys on this channel, so please keep reaching out. Please keep asking questions. Please keep giving comments. Please keep giving advice. And let me know if there's other cool distilling channels out there that I'm missing out on. I'm always looking for new ones. I scour YouTube constantly, even just looking for distillers all over the world in foreign languages. Even if I don't understand what they're saying, I can watch the videos and I can learn a lot from them. So as always, if you have any questions, reach out to me, bishopshomegrown@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on any of my social media channels, and you can reach out to me in the YouTube comments below. Beautiful day today here in Southern Indiana. Just previous video, I'm just following up on that one. I'm just doing a bunch of videos at once because I like to get a bunch ahead so I can share them over time and move on to the next subjects. But 70 plus degrees here today in November, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's getting later in the day. It's now like 5:15. It's starting to get a little dark. I'm getting a little sad because I know we're probably not going to get another great day like this year, but this is a good one so far. So all that being said, we do have a competition going on where we are asking you to give us recipes to run on the 13 still / 1 piece at a time crossover still that I designed and Jason Wade Harrell built. The Black Forest Edition 5-gallon with a 1-gallon weapon of mass extraction head that serves as a gin basket as well, 2 different line arm angles, and a cold finger reflux with a Lebesgue condenser. So what we're looking for is something that would challenge me as a distiller, either with fermentation or with the style of distillation or with botanicals that we can run through that still. If we choose your recipe to use on this channel, not only will we give you 100% credit for that recipe, but you will also win our first giveaway, which is a copy of the Alchemist Cabinet Philosophy Volume 1, autographed by myself, as well as a copy of the Short History of Distillation in India and the Black Forest of Indiana DVD, and the Alan Bishop Experience DVD, plus a grain package, one of our unique grain packages available at thealchemistcabinet.com/thewarehouse1. And I'll probably even throw in a couple extras in there. I've got some cool staves I've been sitting on, stuff that I could share with you guys that may be hard to get otherwise. So today, here comes my dog. Let's see if she gets in my face. Nope, she fell down in a hole over there. Anyways, half black lab, half German shepherd, all puppy, and just a complete 1,000,000% wrecking ball, destroying everything in my life slowly, including my house. But so Michael Melrose reaches out and he says, "Hey man, how's it going? I had a group of questions asked to me. As I thought about the answer, I thought it may be a good one to run by you and may be suitable for a video. Here we go. Do you quote unquote air out a fresh spirit run? What does it do for the spirit flavor / essence? How long is too long? Long enough? Do you air it before proofing down or after? If you don't air it out immediately, could you still do it later? Is this something that is done in professional production distilleries? I know that's a lot all at once, but I know if anyone could help make sense of it, you could." A fantastic group of questions that I'm happy to get into. So first and foremost, let's get to, do I air out a fresh run of spirit? Yes, I do typically. If it's going to be for white spirit, or if it's coming out of the barrel and getting ready to go in the bottle. Anything that's getting ready to go in the bottle, I want oxygen getting to, for sure, 100%. To the extent that at work, what I will do is I use beer fermenters, conical beer fermenters, as production tanks that I put the spirit into, and then as I'm proofing down slowly over a number of days, and or in the case of apple brandy, maybe weeks or months, I'm also aerating that with filtered air from an air compressor, and I have it open to the atmosphere through a little 2-inch opening up at the top, a triclove opening. The reason for that is I'm trying to blow off some of the volatiles that I don't want, yes, to some degree, especially with a fresh spirit run. We talked about this before with the way that we treat, rye, high rye bourbon, things of that nature, where there are certain elements that you don't want bonding to the alcohol, right? Certain volatile elements that may not have such a great pleasant flavor or aroma. You tend to get some grassiness from rye, for example, that you might want to get rid of a little bit of that. Also, that black pepper characteristic from rye, that spicy characteristic, is actually not from the rye itself, but the style of fermentation and subsequently distillation, and you can remove a lot of that by aerating. Do I tend to do it before proofing down or after? I like to do it while I'm proofing down with a brown spirit or a white spirit, one way or the other. Even the white spirit's going into the barrel when we proof down from our still proof at 135 down to 105 for our barrel entry proof. We are not mixing that up with a mixer or manually. We are mixing it up with compressed air, again, that's being filtered which is giving us some of that aeration. And of course, in the barrel, people don't realize this. Barrels are not really just storage devices. They are ingredients. As a matter of fact, they are shitty storage devices and excellent ingredients, which is the distiller's conundrum if ever there was one. But they do get access to air, and so you are getting micro-oxygenation over the year for that barrel breathing in and breathing out. Moving on here, let's see. How long is too long / long enough? All right, so on a home level, here's what I do. For most white spirits, like whiskeys and things of that nature, couple days, 3 days, a lot of times, but I will go longer on some things. Botanical spirits, a lot of times, I'll throw them in a carboy and put a few layers of cheesecloth over top of it with a rubber band or something to hold it in place and put it in a cellar, and it might go a couple months. I might even put a bung in it and just leave it crack just a little bit and let it go a couple months. You don't want to leave it all the way open that whole time, because you are going to experience a lot of spirit evaporation. But this is a very distinct old world technique that you will see amongst brandy producers all over Europe. Even in their cellar, they do this quite a bit because it is a known qualitative factor to making good spirits. So let's see, could you still do it later? You could, but what happens if you don't do it immediately is some of those volatile elements that you don't want, they do tend to adhere to some of the different alcohol molecules, making them harder to remove or to blow off or to volatilize. Some of them will volatilize naturally of their own accord over time. This is the reason that you have you know, the idea that if you pour a pot distilled spirit, it needs to sit in a glass for a little bit and breathe. It's off-gassing. It's getting rid of that. You know, the bourbon snobs call it a fucking neck pour, which doesn't mean shit. It's a made-up term. It's really just an excuse to say that the whiskey in the neck of the bottle is worse than whiskey lower in the bottle, which is not even possibly remotely a thing. You just have to decant that spirit to let it off-gas a little bit. Is it something that's done in professional production distilleries? I think I just answered that. You will also see this all over Cognac, Calvados. You will see it with traveling fruit distillers, absinthe distillers, etc. I think I covered all the bases here, Michael. If I didn't, let me know, reach out to me, and I will do my best to cover those bases in the future. But I think this gives you a pretty good overview of what my thoughts are on this. I'm not sure it's nearly as important with a low rectification column still distillation, but with a pot still distillation, where it's all about retention and concentration of flavor, and you get that quote-unquote pot still funk that comes across. I think it's very much necessary to do this. No matter how well fermented, no matter how well distilled the product is, it's not going to hurt it to do some of this to it. So keep that in mind, guys. As always, I love you. Reach out to me, and I'll catch you later.